Hello, and welcome back to another amazing episode of Make Up Your Mind, where we hit our goals and our glows. So, today, ladies, I have an amazing episode. I cannot wait to share with you what it is that God has dropped for you all and for me. What He gave me was such a blessing and an honor and a privilege. And so I'm really excited to share with you all. And so first I want to start by saying happy Mother's Day. And yeah, so today we're going to get right into it. This video is going to be for our mothers, for the incredible mothers all across the world. I couldn't let this day go by without saying something. And so I just kind of want to start by sharing with you all. I know it's been a minute since my last video. I was, on like motivated and getting going. And then, something happened in my life and it kind of just put a pause on things for me. Just kind of made me feel a bit down, made me feel unmotivated, unworthy. And so I started to take a break. And, I had to literally pick myself back up and say, no more. No more, literally no more. I can't give up on myself. I can't give up on the things that God has done for me. I can't give up on my son. I can't give up on you all. I can't give up on this channel. Like, it's so many people, so many women that they want to hear what you have to say. They need to hear what you have to say. And honestly, like, it's just been a blessing for me. It's been an outlet for me to be able to share, to be vulnerable, to be open and transparent with you all. And so yeah, I really just want to say thank you for pushing me, even though you all didn't even know that I needed to be pushed. And so yeah, today, like, I'm really excited because I've took the first step, and that's why I want to be transparent with you all. It's not gonna always be easy. Like, literally every day is a fight. You're gonna have to fight past those emotions, past those feelings, past that trauma and that hurt, past the people that talked about you. You're gonna have to push past that. And so that's what I'm doing. I want you all to see me push, and I hope and pray that you're pushing as well. I think that sometimes as mothers, it's literally the hardest thing that I've ever did in my life was becoming a mother. And it's such a beautiful thing, but what people don't talk about is how, when you become a mom, the challenges that come along with that. And not just the challenges from the child, but how that child challenged you as a person to become better. I remember when my son was first born, and if I'm just being honest, it wasn't, oh my gosh, I'm so happy he's here. It was like, wait a minute, what am I going to do for the rest of my life with this baby? It's not always, oh my gosh, it's a boy, and oh, he got this to wear, and she has this bow. No, sometimes it's worry, sometimes it's stress, sometimes it's anxiety, because you don't know what to expect. You don't know what you're gonna do. I looked at my life and I'm like, I don't even have it together for me. How am I going to be able to raise up this boy to be a man when I don't even know what I'm doing for my own life? And I remember, like, just thoughts and thoughts and thoughts flooding my mind. And it's tough. It really is a hard place to be when you're a mom and you see such innocent and such a beautiful soul depending upon you. And so a lot of times in life, if you go get a car, it comes with a manual. If you get a new job, it comes with orientation, or you get an employee handbook. But when it's time for you to become a mom, there's no guide, there's no layout, there's nothing that you can pick up and grab and try to do. Oh, I'm gonna do it just like this. Because at the end of the day, as moms, we do the best that we can. We do the best that we know how to do. And that's a hard place, because even though it's our best, sometimes it's not what's best. And so, you know, looking at your child, that's where the challenge becomes, where it stems from. Because you're looking at this child and you're like, I'm doing my best, I'm trying, but sometimes they require more of you. And that's where you have to be willing to grow. And you know, before my son was born, I didn't think that I had issues with patience, but I realized I'm impatient. I struggle, you know, and it's tough. It's tough to look at yourself and say, you know what, I have to grow in this area. I have to mature in this area. I have to be better in this area for my child, for my son, for my daughter, you know, because they're dependent on you. They're watching you. They're looking at you. And they're going to grow old one day. They're going to grow up and they're going to remember. They're going to remember everything, how you handle stress. How did you handle going through trials and tribulations? How did you respond when certain things weren't always how you needed them to be? How did you react to certain people? And so, you know, it's a challenge. It's a beautiful challenge, but it is a challenge. And so, you know, we have to be willing to do the work. We have to be willing to sacrifice. We have to be willing to grow and change and mature. And that's not an easy thing to do when it's just been you for so long, when you're just used to taking care of Larnisha. I know what Larnisha like, but it's no longer about me. It's about this baby boy that I'm raising. And yeah, so one thing that dropped in my spirit while I was studying you know, about mother, and I was thinking about that word mother. And when I looked at the word, because I'm a writer, I have to look at stuff, so I wrote out the word mother, and what stood out to me is the root of the word mother is other. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, wait a minute, what does that mean? And when I was thinking about it, I'm like, there's so many other parts to moms. There's so many other things about a mother that sometimes we don't focus on. Sometimes we don't actually take the time to understand how that affects us as mothers. Oftentimes as mothers, we focus on so many other things that we can't even enjoy the blessing that God has given us. And I'm guilty of it. You know, I'm a single mother. So when my son was born, I didn't always focus on him. I'm worried about how I'm gonna make this work, where I'm gonna work, how am I gonna pay the bills, how am I gonna afford this, how am I gonna afford that, you know, why would he leave? And, you know, all these questions that I began to ask myself, and I couldn't focus on my son. I couldn't focus on, you know, him taking his first steps. I couldn't focus on him cooing and him laughing and being a mom, because I was focused on the other. And when God showed me that, I was just mind blown, because I'm like, oftentimes as moms, that's what we do. We focus on everything else, everyone else, except the very thing that God has given us and entrusted us to take care of, entrusted us to raise, entrusted us to grow. And you know, it really stumbled me for a second. And that's why I wanted to create this video, because I really wanted us as women and us as mothers to look at ourselves and say, what is the other in our lives that's keeping us from being the mothers that God has called us to be? And, you know, like I said, it was just so many things that even still to this day, that it convicted me. It really caused me to look at myself and say, you know what, you still have some growing to do. You've grown, but you still got some healing to do. You've healed, but you still have some maturing to do, because there's so many things, that other things that affect you as a woman, as a mother, that sometimes you're not able to give your child what he needs. And so I was just like, whoa, wait a minute, because for God to drop something like that in my spirit, he wants you to know that there's still more required of you. There's still more that he's asking from you. There's still more that he needs from you in order for you to raise your child the way that your child needs to be raised. And oftentimes we're not in a position, we're not even in the right headspace to receive what it is that God is trying to tell us, without being offended, without having a hard heart, without being receptive, because we're focused on the other. And God began to drop in my spirit, how are you going to replace those other things that you've been focusing on with the things that fuel you instead of the things that take from you? And I was just thinking, I'm like, wait a minute, there's so many things that I need to remove, so many thoughts out of my mind, so many people out of my life, so many different, on so many different levels, things that I need to remove, because I can't focus on my blessing because I'm worried about my cursing. I can't focus on what I do have because I'm worried about what I don't have. And when he dropped that to me, I was just like, man, I can't wait to share this with my mothers, because our kids are, they're wanting our attention. They need our attention, but we can't give it to them, and we can't help them, and we can't relate to them, because we're not even in a position where we're relatable. We're not even in a position where we're willing to listen. We're not even in a position where we're able to communicate with our children, because your thoughts are already full of capacity. Your relationships are already more important. Your friendships are more important. Everything except the very thing that God has given you has become the center of your life, of our lives. And so, there's things that we have to deal with. There is things that we have to remove, and we have to ask for forgiveness from our children. We have to tell them that we're sorry. We have to show them that you are important, that mommy is here, and mommy appreciates you, mommy loves you. And so I really wanted to share this word with you. And so when I begin to look at the word other, it says a person or thing that is different or distinct from one already mentioned or known. And so as moms, we are so unique. We're very unique in our own way. Each and every one of us brings something different to the table, and that's what we have to remember. A person or thing that is different or distinct. And we have to stop trying to fit in a box. Stop trying to fit in what society tells us to be, and be what God has called us to be. What is God? Why did he give you that child? What is it that you already have? Because there's a thing inside of each and every last one of us. And so it's something in you that God needed you to put in that baby. It's something in you that God needed you to call out in that baby. It's something in you that God needed you to use in order to get that child where he needs it to go. And so we have to remember that we don't have to be what everyone else tells us that we are. I don't need anybody to tell me I'm a single mother. I'm not a single mother. I'm a mother. And I don't need anybody to tell me that I'm strong, and I'm just being a mom. I'm literally just being a mom. And so it is tough. It is hard. It is challenging, but we can do it. We can do all things through Christ who gives us strength. And so we really have to be willing to pray. We have to be willing to get on our knees. We have to be willing to bow down and ask God for the tools. Ask him for the wisdom, for the knowledge on how to raise that child. And so I really wanted to share this word with you, that whatever that other is, change it to something that's positive, changing that other that's taking from you to something that's fueling you. Yeah. And so I really hope that this helps someone. And I pray, I really do pray that I was able to articulate this in a way that you understand. And I love you guys. I cannot wait to see you on the next video. And thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Happy Mother's Day.